Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, gives you some tech advice, and also tells you the best optic for a medium to long range M4. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and welcome back another week, as I always say, and it's getting even more exciting. We're getting close to that holiday season, we're past Thanksgiving, and we're into the full holiday rush right now, full of amazing deals. If you guys are in the market to buy an airsoft gun, this is the time of the year. A lot of companies drop their map, and it's only the few times in the year that can happen. For example, Elite Force, it's the only time in the year I know they do it. I think they do it maybe one more time close to right around the Christmas holiday. I think they did it maybe around Thanksgiving. Also, if you look at some of the other big companies like Echo One and such, they do it as well. So if you guys are in the market, you definitely are going to want to be picking up something in the airsoft world right about now. But enough about all the cool stuff that's out there, and plenty of things that I'd love to buy as well. Let's just get right on into the meat of what this show's all about, and that is answering your questions. ELG Nation writes, "Hello John, I was wondering, is a mystery box worth buying for being a starter like an Airsoft GI Battlestar box?" Mystery boxes are cool. They're also great ways to get a lot more product for your money. The only downside with the mystery box is you could end up with something you really just don't want either. So it's kind of a trade-off. I would really look at the boxes, see what they're offering, and see if most or everything in that box package is something you would be happy getting a hold of. You don't want to end up going, well, I'm shooting for a gun or whatever. You end up with like a tactical vest, and then you have something you really just don't need. But yeah, kind of weigh them out, look at it, and if one has a lot of the stuff that you're looking for, and then of course a really cool big item where you can really cash in if you're one of the lucky ones to win the big one, then yeah, I'd jump all over it because you can get some really great deals that way. Blake Quinn writes, "Hello Jonathan, what's your view on mixing colors or patterns to break up your silhouette and become harder to spot? Love the show, keep it up." Hey Blake, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Unfortunately, most of the big ops I go to, you're kind of stuck with a uniform, and most of the big milsim promoters really want you to have a matching top and bottom. Now at my local field, for example, I have mixed that many times actually, going with like a darker pair of pants and a lighter top, or vice versa, like something a little more on the brown on the bottoms and a little more green on the top, depending on the time of the year, so you can kind of match the stalks of the trees with your legs, then match the leaves with your top. But yeah, it's actually a very good idea. And you're right, it does break the silhouette up of your body as you're moving, especially if you're in more open areas, kind of like with less woods and things like that. So yeah, I think it's a really good idea. I've seen a lot of units, actually real military units, use it as well, and I think it's very valid for airsoft as well. Lord Spectrum writes, Hi. Gear Squad Airsoft writes, "What's up, Jonathan? Doing great work with the videos. Here's the question. Where do you draw the line between real and airsoft? For example, there's a rail system I want that's for real guns. Can I most likely go on an airsoft gun? Thanks in advance. Keep up the good work." If you get a barrel nut, some of the rails are pretty close. So if they're barrel nut attached, for example, it's the part where I'll show you right here on this gun. This right here is the barrel nut area. If you can get one that actually is a similar rail that has kind of an airsoft version, chances are you can match it up a little bit. You'll have a lot better luck with guns like Sistema PTWs and the such, because they're going to be a little closer to real steel spec. But that said, the threads and all that on the barrel nut, not getting too crazy, are different. I'd probably go with a rail that you can find both in real steel and then an airsoft licensed version as well. There's a lot of companies out there doing that, so you won't have that difficult of a time if you pick any of the most popular rails on the market. You should be able to find the airsoft version, for example, like a Knight's Armament. I know Z-Shot distributes those with Mad Bull. If you're doing something on Strike Industries, they have replicas as well. There's a lot of stuff out there. Even some of the stuff that's a little gray market replica, like a 416 with Geissele rails and things like that, you can probably find something that matches pretty darn close in the replica world. Nate Killsdunk writes, "John, you always have a gun or a piece of gear on the desk behind you, like the Tan MP7 in the previous video. It'd be cool if you did something like a mini review or overview or your thoughts on that gun or piece of gear. Just a suggestion, love the videos." Actually, I think that's a fantastic idea, Nate, and that's one of those things, I just put something back here all the time to make it just different and interesting, to always have something in the background. But you know what? I think I will start doing that. We're gonna start with this guy right here. This For some of you might know exactly what this thing is. For a lot of you may be going, how does this relate to airsoft? It looks like a plastic pot, like Tupperware you'd bring your lunch to work in or something like that. But this is actually an S Thunder water spraying landmine, and I just got this in for review. I'm a little nervous about testing it right now because it is the winter time, and I think the high today was like 42 degrees and the lows in the 20s here. So I don't really want to get out there and step on a water spraying landmine in this kind of temperature. I may have to get a long stick. But what is neat about this, and I would love to get a bunch of these. I think these would work really good in a Milsim event if you had a chance to really set up, or if you're doing base defense like in a skirmish at your local field and you had a chance to set up, as long as your field owner will let you dig holes, which is kind of a safety thing, so you got to kind of play that one by ear. So how this thing works is you unscrew the top, and I'll show you here on this thing, and it's really two main components. You actually have the top with the safety pin. You pull the pin out, and then the mine is pretty much live, and you actually, when it's all together, and you press on this and it actually sets off the mine. The way the mine works is in here you actually have a 12 gram cartridge. It lives down in here, and it's got a little needle down in the bottom. It goes upside down. So when you step on the mine, it pushes this plunger down and you're good to go. So when you do that, you end up with this whole canister, which has a fill line. You see here, you fill it to that point with water, and that pressure builds up, and through these tubes here, it squirts the water up through those jets. So, and you can aim these. They're actually a little aimable. They're kind of little balls, kind of aimable things. So you can find the best pattern, kind of practice with it. And it does burn up a 12 gram every time you use it, but it's worth it to see somebody get totally soaked. I know they also have a powder exploding version of this, which I think would be kind of cool, especially for like winter games, if you don't want to soak somebody with water. But I do like the concept of the landmine. I've always liked the landmines, and I've loved claymores too. They definitely have their place in airsoft, but they're not, you know, something you can use in every game, especially a mine like this where you have to kind of set and make sure it's in a path that your teammates won't set it off, but you can get your enemies and a couple good kills out of it. So yeah, there's a place for it. This one, probably Milsim events only is my guess, just from a safety standpoint, not having to dig holes at your local field, and then also being able to prepare in advance. So yeah, that's definitely the cool item of the week. And I'll start doing this. If you guys like this, let me know in the comments below, and I'll start putting different objects in the background. I've got a ton of like all kinds of crazy accessories and things that I get in that are queued up for reviews, or some that are just kind of neat and they're not really enough of an object to get a full like 5 or 7 minute video out of. I'll start doing those. So yeah, if you like it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll keep doing this. Owen Fugit writes, what optics would you recommend for medium to long range on an M4 style rifle? Well, considering we're talking airsoft here, medium to long range is kind of a relative term. I mean, you're not gonna be reaching out to 300 yards with an airsoft gun, that is for darn sure. So you're looking at mainly on an M4 with field limits, probably 200 feet if you've got that thing just dialed in and your field limits are a little bit on the higher side. So when it comes to optics around that, I've used a lot of different ones, and depending on the field and what I'm playing, I usually go with something simple like a red dot. Even though we're talking medium to long range, you can still sight in on your target, you can still see what you're doing, and come on, let's face it, especially at range, you can see your BBs travel if you're using a white colored BB. So that's what I would definitely do here. In fact, this is actually the new Vulcan V12 engine in a G&G gun. You guys were asking earlier about showing product. This will be in a review very shortly. But yeah, I've actually moved my True Glow optic over here. It's a red dot. It's kind of like a T1 style, and this is kind of my go-to optic. Now that said, I do have another one over here, and this one is a variable optic. So what you have with this is made by Bravo. It's distributed by Jag Precision, so you can pick this guy up pretty much anywhere. They call it the short dot, and it is a variable optic. So right here, in fact, I did a review on this not too long ago. You can adjust this to 1 1/4 magnification all the way up to 4.5 times magnification, or anything in between. So where I usually live with this is around 1 1/4 to 2. It's about where it is. That'll give you a little extra kind of magnification to see your enemy at range. You can still do 2-eye shooting. I shoot with both eyes open because I am left eye dominant but right-handed, which is kind of an odd combination. But it gives you kind of that extra magnification to 1, see if your BBs are hitting the target, 2, you can kind of walk them in a little better, or to spot enemies at a distance. When it comes to 4x scopes, I really look at those. In fact, let me knock this gun over because I've got them all like hiding over here against my desk out of sight. This is another True Glow optic, and it's their tactical 4x optic, and it lives on the sniper rifle pretty much. That's where it goes. It is fantastic for when you can get up and shoot beyond those ranges. So if you're running a DMR on an M4, let's say, and you're at a higher FPS and you can get up into the high 400s with that, or if they'll even let you get closer to sniper limits, like around 500 if you're locked to semi-auto, I would definitely say at that point, you're gonna wanna jump up to something like a 4x. It really helps you fine tune those shots and dial them in, especially when those individual shots count. You can't, really get a lot of quick follow-ups because you're not using an AEG. So that's kind of my thing. I would say if your gun shoots up 400 FPS with a .2, around that, stick with a red dot. I mean, there's really not much of a point, or go with that variable optic I showed you a second ago from Bravo, or something along the lines of that where you can adjust it depending on where you're playing. Huge field, you might want to zoom in a little more. A lot of brush, a little more CQB, you can at least zoom it back out and still use it to clear rooms and corners. Well guys, that's it for this week's questions, and that means it is time for the video recommendation of the week, and this one comes from YouTube user called Novarastitch. I think I'm pronouncing that right, and it is a sniper scope cam. This guy's overseas, somewhere in Europe, I think Eastern Europe. I'm terrible with accents. I'm sure somebody will tell me what it is down there in the comments below, but I love this stuff. I don't know what it is. I'm usually kind of like a run and gun type player, but I just really enjoy watching a very well put together scope cam video montage or some gameplay footage from someone who really knows how to use a sniper rifle. There's just something so neat. It you almost get stressed out a little bit when you watch this. So yeah, if you guys want to see some really good footage, I think this one has like 1.4 million views on it. So chances are you might have seen this one already. Check out the scope cam from YouTube user Novarastitch, and there's a couple other great users out there, and he's got some more videos out there on his channel as well. I'm just putting one, and if you guys want to watch it, the description is right down there in the show notes. Well guys, that's it for this show. And of course, if you want to get your questions on the show, all you gotta do is just put it in the comment section below. Vote up your favorites, because that's how I picked all of them this week, and they'll get on the show. Or if it's creative, it doesn't have to necessarily get votes. If I think it's one that's neat, I haven't answered before, I'll definitely get it on the show as well. Also, I'm interested to hear what you guys think about this. Do you like the format? Do you want to see me do anything different in here? I did take a great suggestion here for doing quick mini reviews of objects that I have on the table, but do you want me to do anything else during the show? Is there something else you'd like to see added in, folded back into this, or taken away? Do you want it longer? Do you want it shorter? Let me know down there in the comment section below as well, because even if I don't use your question, I do read every single comment every week on the current video. So if you get it in that first 7 days, I've got your comment and I have seen every single one. I try to reply to the ones I can, but I definitely have seen yours if you've got it in the first 6 or 7 days. Well guys, thank you so much for watching again this week. And if you liked the show, hit the share button down there. That really helps me out a lot. It kind of gets the name out and the word out and helps grow this channel. The more people that can watch, the more I can do shows like this and other shows I've been really wanting to get into. And it helps kind of build this into what you guys are helping me create here, the community of Airsoftology. So again, thank you so much. I'll see you next week. But until then, get out, go play some airsoft. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.